Everyone, well, Rabbi Goodson here. How are you? I've got some new ways to do this. Okay, I think this will work just fine. Yes, excellent. Okay, you know, something just happened. Me and a good friend of mine decided to. He called me up, and of course we were talking, talking and everything, and you know, I want to talk about commandments, about the commandments of Yeshua HaMashiach and Raha Kodesh. I posted a video about an Orthodox rabbi, and you saw him giving dollar bills for charity. Okay, well, in biblical terms, that's called alms. Okay, ALMS. And I got to thinking about it, and I was talking to a friend of mine, Robert Smith, just a little. In fact, I just got off the phone with him. By the way, it's on messengers for you guys that, you know, this guy. Okay, and I was thinking about this. This is also for all of you that's been in the military. Okay, that can, you know, attest to this. Let me ask you guys something. When you were given an order by your command sergeant, your senior sergeant, or your commanding officer, was there an option in obeying those orders, those commands? Did you have a choice on whether or not you really wanted to obey them? Or was it compulsory? Now, strictly speaking, no, you didn't have to obey those orders, but of course there were consequences to not obeying those orders, right? There were consequences. Depending the type of order that you were supposed to follow would determine what type of consequence you were supposed to have, right? Well, you know what? If in the military you got to follow orders of your senior sergeant or commanding officer. If you've got to follow those orders, then why do many of you not follow the commandments of God? We are commanded in the Torah to give alms. We are commanded in the Torah to do works of charity. Yeshua tells us to do the same. Paul, the disciples, the apostles tell us. But here's the thing, folks, and this is pretty much the one real thing that I have against the Christian churches. They set conditions on this help. If you don't go to our church, or you know what, if you do this or that, if you don't go to our church, if you don't believe with, and I'm not saying all of them do, but there's always that kind of restriction. Or you can only do it so many times a month. And this was predicated. As you well know, I'm one of those kind of people that if I have, I'll help. No conditions. Well, I know that everyone knows about the Matthew 25 ministry. And I'm not doing this to brag or to set myself as an example. I don't do that. But now I had some food in my drawer, in my cupboard, I guess you could call it, my drawer. Some canned goods, canned meats, that kind of stuff, pasta. The pasta was kind of like, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I don't have a stove, I have a microwave. What am I going to do with it, right? Okay, anyway, that's fine. There was this lady that came to my door. Someone told her about me and about my ministry, and the Matthew 25 ministry. Anyway, she told me what was going on, and that she had gone to the food banks and all that, but evidently she went there she'd already been there the required amount of time, and she now has to wait, and she was out of food. So, not having a lot. In fact, I probably have about 4 or 5 cans left, which is fine. I don't care. I'll find some way to get them, to get more food. Doesn't matter to me. But I gave her what I could. I gave her some canned goods, some canned meats. In fact, I gave her actually all of my canned meats, chicken and beef and all that. Then I gave her some tomato paste, for the pasta. But you see, folks, this is what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. We are given command. We are giving a command. We are commanded in the Torah, in the prophets, by Yeshua himself, by Paul, by Peter, by James, by all the disciples, to give alms. Now that doesn't mean money. That doesn't mean just money. Okay? Alms can be anything. It can be you give food. Because what did Yahweh say? Help the aliens among you, because at one time you were aliens in a foreign land. We are commanded to do it. There is, for those of you who are in the military, when you were given a command, were you given an option to obey that command or not? Were you? Were you told, well, if you really don't like that command, you don't have to follow it? The only command that we did not have to follow were illegal or immoral orders, and that would be to murder someone, to go and do something that was immoral by our society, or it goes against the law. Then we are to register and we can't follow that because this is an illegal and immoral action. But we better have a good evidence of that too. But beyond that, if it's an order, you had to follow it. Am I correct? But may I ask you something? Why are you violating the commandments of Yahweh, the commandments of the prophets, the commandments of Yeshua HaMashiach himself, to give to the poor? Now, I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty or anything. I'm telling you this because I'm seeing this in the Christian churches. That if you do, then you put restrictions on it. I've read the Bible about giving. I've read about it. I've read everything I could. Nowhere in the Bible are there conditions. Well, if they meet this condition, give it to them. If they meet that condition, give it to them. No, I don't see that. I don't read that. I read, however, do it. Folks, these are not suggestions. These are commands, commandments. I've always said that many of the Christians out there, they treat the 10 commandments as though they're 10 suggestions. And they pick and choose which one they want to follow. And if they violate that, oh well, God will understand. No, he won't. You'll be forgiven, but you're still going to have to suffer the consequences of your actions. That's the way it is. Same thing in the military. If you do not follow the commands of your senior sergeant or commanding officer, what happens? You're busted. You want to know why a lot of the churches out there have not progressed, are actually losing? It's because of the fact that they're busted. Yahweh, Elohim, Yeshua HaMashiach have busted them. They're being busted. I don't care if you join me or not. I really don't care. You want God to bless you? You want Yahweh Elohim to bless you? Start following his commandments.